Good evening, everyone. We have a wonderful event planned for you tonight. To get us started, it is my pleasure to introduce 4-H alumna from Georgia, Miss Emily Lloyd. Emily was a member of the nationally renowned Georgia 4-H performing arts troupe, Clovers and Company, and currently performs in Orlando, Florida with Disney's cast choir, Encore. Here to perform America the Beautiful, please welcome Miss Emily Lloyd.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of gray, for purple mountain majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful, for heroes placed in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, and all success be nobleness, and everything divine. Oh, beautiful, for patron stream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleamed, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea, shining sea.
Thank you, Emily. For tonight's invocation, please welcome National 4-H Council Trustee and CEO of Tech Octane, Jeremy Mbalabala.
Good evening. My name is Jeremy Mbalabala, and I'm a former 4-H'er from the state of Illinois. My career in 4-H, I studied projects such as electricity, computers, beef, and poultry. The skills I learned in 4-H have enabled me to be successful in business today. I graduated from the University of Illinois in Springfield with a degree in computer science, and today I'm the CEO and founder of my own technology company. As individuals, we come here tonight from diverse cultures with diverse beliefs and faith traditions. Yet we are united around our common values, our common belief in the power of young people, and our common commitment to the 4-H movement. Therefore, for tonight's invocation, I would like to offer words from the 4-H Creed as blessing for this convening and this food. The words themselves are almost a century old, but the ideas are still powerful and inspiring. We believe in 4-H work and the opportunity it will give young people to become useful citizens. We believe in the training of our heads for the power it will give us to think, plan, and to reason. We believe in the training of our hearts for the nobleness it will give us to be kind, sympathetic, and true. We believe in the training of our hands for the ability it will give us to be helpful, skillful, and useful. We believe in the training of our health for the strength it will give us to enjoy life and to work efficiently. We believe in our responsibility and our connections to 4-H and young people in our communities and around the world. In all these things we believe and will dedicate our efforts to their fulfillment. Amen.
Please welcome our Master of Ceremonies for the evening, New York Times bestselling author, Miss America finalist, and 4-H All-Star, Nancy Redd.
Good evening. Y'all can do better than that. Good evening. Good evening. That's better. Like 60 million other young people from all walks of life, 4-H gave me the hands-on experience that I needed to develop self-confidence and to truly become the person that I am today. I'm here tonight as a legacy testament that 4-H leaves in the lives of millions of youth worldwide. My service through 4-H as a youth member and then later on as an ambassador and vice president and president of my state 4-H club is what enabled me, the sole thing that enabled me to get into Harvard, to earn a fourth of the entire amount of that I had to pay in scholarships that were service-oriented. And 4-H put me on the path in other ways. 4-H is what enabled me to be an author. Don Lloyd and Lynn Lacow on the board of trustees, they're who introduced me to my first agent. And needless to say, I'm very grateful to 4-H, so I'm very happy to be here and to give back in this way. Another way I've given back is as Miss Virginia, my platform was 4-H, the power of youth. And you choose a platform that you'll champion during your year of service. And I chose 4-H because I really believed in it, and a lot of my appearances were revolving around 4-H. Some of them weren't, though. And they would range from the expected, like school appearances, to the unexpected. And usually I didn't have any say about whether or not to accept an offer. But one day my secretary called me up. She said, I have this thing I want you to do. And I want to know if you want to do it before I go ahead and say yes. And I said, all right, what is it? Well, a funeral home is entering in a parade. And they want to know if you want to ride with them. Now, believe it or not, that's not the craziest thing I got asked to do. I thought it was going to be on a float. And I was like, I'll do a float. You know, sure. No, they don't want you to ride on a float. They want you to ride in their new hearse. So I declined. I wasn't ready for that time in my life just yet. Later that same week, one of 4-H's friends, the Virginia State Dairymen's Association, they hired me to speak at an event. And this was a very formal event, and I had to prepare a milk toast. And I was in my finest, all gown and crown, but the organizer of the event introduced me, saying, in our industry, you gotta know what kind of cows give the best milk. And oftentimes, it's just from looking at them. And I don't know this young lady over here, but I can already tell by looking at her that she's a prize heifer. I wanted to put him in that hearse. Today's 4-H programming is as remarkably broad as the appearances I've done. 6 million youth are working on thousands of different projects ranging across America in so many different areas and so many different places, from urban neighborhoods to suburban schoolyards to farming communities. As a 15-year-old in Southern Virginia, I was at a crossroads in my life. I didn't enjoy school. I wasn't any good at sports. I was awkward and unfocused, and I wanted so badly to find a place where I felt special, a place where I could shine. Searching in vain, I kind of hung out with the wrong crowd. They didn't do much to encourage me, and they did a lot of things to discourage me from doing the right thing and being successful. I was really lucky. I hadn't been really actively involved in 4-H in elementary school or high school, so I was really surprised when my local 4-H extension agent saw that I was in the honor roll, and she called all the kids on the honor roll, and she asked them if they would like to be involved in 4-H. And I came to 4-H Congress, and I was awestruck by the women I met. There were young women, young black women, women like me, in leadership roles, and they were making the difference. They've carried themselves with poise and confidence that I didn't even know was possible in a person, rather less a teenager. And I returned from Congress with a new vision of who I could be and what I could become. I got a new set of friends and a new attitude, and the rest was history. Had Lynn Berry, my extension agent from Martinsville, Virginia, not believed in 4-H and the power of youth, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And in less than 10 minutes, and with a single phone call, she completely changed my life. So did John Dooley with Virginia, Dorothy Freeman with Virginia, so many countless volunteers and adult extension agents, over 500,000 across America, are doing the exact same for people who aren't here today, but who are just as touched. They're making a difference in the lives of kids today, and that's what we're here to support and to honor and to celebrate. I invite you tonight, tonight's runner-up of the Youth Action Award, to join me on stage and to lead us all in saying the 4-H pledge. Every day, 4-Hers across the country start their 4-H club meetings with this pledge, so it's certainly fitting for us to begin our evening this way. Please welcome Matthew Evans.
Good evening. I'm Matthew Evans, and I've been in 4-H for 5 years. I'm a junior in high school, and because I'm homeschooled in Austin, Texas, 4-H was perfect for me to learn and to get involved. I am a member of the Discover 4-H Club, and my projects include community service, food and nutrition, public speaking, water quality, First Lego League robotics, environmental sciences, Operation Military Kids, and more to come. May I kindly ask for everyone to stand as we conduct the 4-H pledge. For those unfamiliar with the pledge and its hand movements, please turn your attention to the screens where the words and directions will be displayed. I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew. Memories. Tonight's inaugural 4-H Legacy Award celebrates the impact that America's youth, like Matthew, have on our country today and in the future. Thanks to the generosity of our many sponsors and friends, we have raised over $400,000 tonight for National 4-H Council's work on behalf of 6 million 4-H youth in state companies nationwide. Yay! You will see these sponsors listed in your programs and on the screen throughout the evening. You've already thanked them, but let's give them one more big round of applause. Now there's some delicious food sitting in front of you, so I don't want you to let it, well, half of it is already cold, but I don't want you to let it go stale. So go ahead and enjoy your first course while we begin our evening. Tonight we're also here to recognize some very special people who have made tremendous contributions to 4-H through the years. We are so appreciative of you joining us on this special occasion, and to begin, let's welcome the National 4-H Council President and CEO, Don Lloyd.
Well, I think you can see why we've invited Nancy back to the podium. She actually was the co-MC with me during our National Centennial and our Congressional Dinner in 2002. And Nancy and I have done many joint visits to donors. It really is an unfair advantage when you take Nancy in to talk about supporting and investing in 4-H. She was also a trustee on our National 4-H board for many years, and we just celebrate her career. And when Mr. Lukow and I did introduce her to that first agent, the name of her book had a different title, and I suggest you ask her about that title later on. I think this room is a great representation of the 4-H movement. We have leaders across the room from our great American land-grant university system, from cooperative extension, county 4-H educators, community, county, and national leaders and community organizations. The agriculture community and its leadership is represented here tonight. Our leaders and partners from USDA are with us. Our customers at the National 4-H Center, as a matter of fact, our largest customer is with us tonight. Our largest donor is here tonight. Donors that have been with us for decades are joining us. And there are in the room those that helped build the movement, including 4-H Hall of Fame laureates. And would you just do me a favor, and those of you who are laureates in the 4-H Hall of Fame, I know there are several, would you just please stand so we can give you a round of thanks for your contributions to our movement? Our global partners are here. We have past board chairs with us. There are 4-H'ers in the room. I'm sorry we couldn't fit all 6 million of the kids in here tonight. But we're pleased that those who have helped us build the 4-H movement over the years as volunteers of staff have also joined us tonight. By the way, are there any 4-H alums in the room tonight? Would you just kind of wave your hand? Yeah, we got a lot of 4-H alums in the room. But we're all here tonight because we believe in the promise of 4-H. Through 4-H, young people participate in a very special kind of leadership experience that uniquely prepares them to step up to the complex challenges in their communities, their workplaces, and the world. 4-H has been preparing citizens for more than 100 years. 4-H youth learn how to work with others, take the lead on their own projects, and make a case for what they believe in and what they want to do. Research at Tufts University shows that the 4-H'ers develop further and faster than their peers. They're twice as likely to go on to college. They're twice as likely to get better grades. They're 40% less likely to engage in risky behaviors. And they are 25% more likely to contribute significantly to their community. You'll find 4-H contributors in every community in the nation. 4-H'ers have an I can do it attitude that combines knowing what's right with knowing how to do things right now. 4-H at its core is an organization of, by, and for the communities it serves. And the National 4-H Council will never stop working to protect 4-H's heritage and ensure its future. No great organization like the Council and the work we do could happen without the leadership of our Board of Trustees. And if I could, many of them are here tonight, could I just ask our board members to stand and let us thank you for your tremendous service and leadership. We are very proud, by the way, to be one of the only youth organizations that actually has 4 youth trustees with full powers on our Board of Trustees, and they're all here tonight. Thanks. Here to present our first award is Anawika Rose, who is with the National Congress of American Indians. Anawika? There you go.
I oftentimes have to correct my name. My chief of my tribe, Cherokee Nation, his daughter's name is Anawake, and she says it traditionally. And I'm frequently lectured by our chief that it should be Anawake, but it's actually Anawake. We changed it to be more white sounding when my aunt was put in boarding school. I am incredibly honored to be here tonight on behalf of the National Congress of American Indians for Samantha Jo Ridley. I was just explaining I was really late coming over here because I'm a policy director for NCAI, and what we're busy working on right now is the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. And I could have used her all day while we were pounding the hill back and forth, because what better example of youth and what our education systems and our clubs can do than Samantha. First, we would like to thank the 4-H leadership for their expansion in Indian country, because it's really these types of programs that leads to our children being able to succeed and truly becoming the tribal leaders that we need in our communities. The young lady that we have all gathered here tonight to honor is truly a wonderful example of this type of youth and the leadership that 4-H provides. Samantha Jo is an 18-year-old high school senior and a leader in her community. Despite the obstacles that Samantha has faced, she has grown into a young, beautiful woman and has succeeded academically. She has given back to her tribe, she has given back to her community, and she has become a role model for her peers and is a wonderful example of our Standing Rock Sioux community. As a junior archery club instructor, Samantha and her 4-H archery club have made this important Native American tradition available to younger members of the tribes. She has recently been accepted to Dartmouth, where she will be studying neuroscience and is a Gates Millennium Scholar. This prestigious program was established to promote academic excellence and to provide an opportunity for outstanding minority youth with significant financial need to reach their highest potential. Samantha will be the first member of her family to attend college. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present this year's Youth Action Award winner, Samantha Jo Ridley.
Well, thank you very much. I'm honored to be here tonight to accept this prestigious award on behalf of 6 million 4-Hers who benefit from your generous support. My name is Oyate Oyanka Piwi, which means woman seen by the people, and was given to me when I was 2 years old. I stand here today as a young woman whose life's been changed by 4-H. I have gained an inner strength, confidence, and persistence from 4-H that I will carry throughout my life. As a young girl growing up in the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, I watched as my people struggled. Life on the reservation is full of hardships, and many Native American youth have faced challenges that seem too difficult to overcome. I was introduced to 4-H through their archery project. My little brother was the first to participate in archery, and eventually my whole family was involved. With the help of a 4-H educator, we started our own 4-H club called the Soaring Eagles Archery Club, and have been competing and hosting tournaments throughout our reservation. Archery is a sport that's starting to make a comeback, especially on our reservation, because it has cultural importance to us. In order to survive, my people used archery to hunt the buffalo, which provided essential needs for our tribe. Archery is important to me and to my Native people, and 4-H has made it possible to revive this tradition on my reservation. You see, in 4-H, I was given the space to find out who I was within my own culture and within my own community. 4-H did not require standard activities to earn stripes or badges or medals. My 4-H mentors allowed me to explore my own interests and practice leadership. 4-H offered me an environment where I can learn who I was and what I wanted for my future. Last spring, I was diagnosed with supraventricular tachycardia. This illness is basically described as a hole in the wall of my heart, through which the electrical impulses recirculated throughout my body and heart. Because I was surrounded by my family and a very caring 4-H leader, I was able to face heart surgery without taking my eyes off my future. Speaking of my future, which is bright and filled with opportunity, I am currently a senior at McLaughlin High School, ranked first in my class, and I will be the first in my family to attend college, Dartmouth University, next fall. My dream is to become a neurosurgeon and to return to service to health clinics in my community. The support that you give to 4-H changes lives and creates possibilities for the future. I am living proof. And there are 6 million more of us in communities across America who are ready to lead in this complex and changing world. Thank you for this honor. My future waits, and I am ready.
I'm sure we'll be hearing more from Samantha in the future. That's definitely true. As we conclude the first half of our program, please direct your attention to the screens and then to your dinner. Thank you.
Being in 4-H is a really fun opportunity. Not only do we discuss a lot of current issues, but it's in a really calm environment. A lot of people joke around, but we get to the business, we really answer questions, come up with project ideas, and we try to impact our community as much as we can.
I like that I'm able to interact with other people, and I'll be able to, show them how to be a leader or help them incorporate how to deal with real-world experiences.
My favorite part is going all these different activities that we do. We went to do this Million Trees activity, where we went to go plant 100 trees. So community service is a great chance to have fun.
The favorite thing I've done was the ribbon cutting ceremony at the state fair with Governor Patterson. I interviewed him, and I did a newspaper for press corps and 4-H, and it was spectacular. It was really fun.
We go out to the Cornell University and we partake in events. Last year, my event was engineering.
Not only do you need diligence to head a club, but also you need to have a very powerful sense of leadership. to organize and communicate between different people and different races.
Being a 4-H member has taught me a lot of leadership skills because before I was more like in the background, but now I'm bringing myself forward so I can teach other people more about 4-H and about how to be a good citizen, how to live better and be better about everything in their lives.
It's taught me to be a bit more confident and how to be more persistent when coming to a problem.
4-H isn't just located in New York City, it's a worldwide organization. So not only do you have to accept ideas from the urban community, but you have to be very open about other ideas.
It is a lot of fun, and it feels like a family because every time I'm here, I always have fun. The energy is perfect. It's just the best.
Jeff Gordon is a believer in luck, and this weekend his sponsor DuPont put the 4-H 4-Clover on this race car. Our 4-leaf clover on the back of your car is going to push you to victory lane.
New research is showing that children in 4-H programs perform better in science, engineering, and technology and are more likely to pursue scientific careers than those who don't take part in 4-H.
More than 200 Adams Middle School students explored ethanol and biofuels today.
This year's focus is on something that we all need, alternative energy sources.
Oftentimes we think of 4-H as being livestock and consumer science, but there's a lot of technology and science that is 4-H.
Students all across the country are performing the same experiment to see just how it works.
With a little sugar, water, yeast, and a balloon, University of Missouri Extension 4-H kids watch how yeast breaks down sugars, releasing carbon dioxide gas and ethanol, a biofuel.
I think it's just cool because it relates 4-H to science, and kids will be interested in learning about how our gas is made and the new inventions that we're coming up with through agriculture.
But hundreds of kids and their parents are celebrating National 4-H Week tonight with science. Organizers want people to know that 4-H is for everybody these days.
4-H is attacking one of the biggest problems in America, and that's our shortage of scientists. Competitively around the world, we lag. So 4-H today is having National Youth Science Day, where hundreds of thousands of young people across the country will be involved in a National Youth Science Day, which is called Biofuel Blast.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back our Master of Ceremonies, Nancy Red.
That was great. I especially liked seeing NASCAR. I'm from Martinsville, and we're a NASCAR town. We're a former DuPont town as well, and we have the smallest track, which people don't understand what's great about that. But my husband's a Manhattan boy. He totally used to not understand the South and how awesome it is. And so I was determined to show him the real South. So I took him to a NASCAR race. He was kicking and screaming. He said, I don't want to go to that. It's not going to be fun. What's the fun? Oh, my God, a crash. Oh, my God, it's on fire. And I could not pull him away for the next 5 hours. But that's just one of the many things that the more than 5 million young people involved in science, engineering, and technology programs, by these people, 4-H is truly answering the call to develop America's next generation of thinkers and innovators. Whether you're a long-time friend or just learning about 4-H for the first time tonight, I hope you've been inspired to consider how you might personally get involved with 4-H as well. It all happens kind of on a whim. Many of you will think back to how you got involved in 4-H and realize it was a personal connection or whimsy or just impulse. While my emotional support of 4-H has run deep forever, but my financial support really began as an impulse as a college junior on national television. I was picked to be on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And I was in the hot seat, and I was totally confused because in the practice round, I didn't get any of the fastest fingers right. And my mom just said, don't embarrass us on TV. That's all I'm asking. But I somehow got past the first round, and I got to $125,000, and I was going for $250,000. And Regis said, well, what are you going to do with all this money? And you're talking to a girl who truly thought that she was going to embarrass herself at the zero question. So I said, I don't know. I just said the first thing that came to my mind. And I said, well, I'm definitely giving 10% to 4-H. And it just came from nowhere, because I did not expect to be in the position. I'd never had more than $125 in my pocket, rather less $125. But that moment of joy and whimsy was the beginning of the most meaningful and lasting relationship in my entire life. The $25,000 from my game show winnings went to a 4-H endowed scholarship fund in my hometown of Martinsville, Henry County, and the proceeds from which support teen-related 4-H activities, because again, that's when I got involved, that's when my life was changed, and so it allows dozens of kids in my hometown to go to 4-H camp and Congress annually, making my hometown's delegation the largest, or close to it, every single year. And all of you in here have that capacity too, you have that power. And it's tonight that we're celebrating the belief in our power to create change, positive change in the lives of youth like Samantha, youth like Matthew, who need us, who need you. You've pledged your head, your heart, your hands, and your health to our club, our community, our country, and our world. And tonight, here's a new and easy way to pledge your dollars on impulse. We've started this really awesome program, how you can support your state 4-H program using your cell phone. How many of you in here have a cell phone? How many of you have two? This is that total type of crowd. In Los Angeles, I see people, and they'll hear a ring, they'll go, no, not that one, not that one, not that one. Okay, finally this one. No, it's the assistants. Anyone with a cell phone can join our new 4-H Give to Vote Challenge by texting the word CLOVER spells, yes, to 50555 to give $10 to support 4-H in your specific state. Now, all of the money we raise tonight through your text gifts goes directly to state 4-H programs. Everyone, if you are interested in supporting a dream on an impulse, mind you, pick up your cell phone right now, and maybe even the cell phone of the person next to you. With or without their permission, I'm not telling. And make a gift to 4-H. Again, you can text CLOVER to 50555. If you need help texting your gift, just raise your hand, and one of our very capable youth trustees or 4-H council staff will be available to help. Kids are so useful nowadays. I was so excited when my mom stopped using her laptop like a typewriter. Hello, stop. Each mobile gift or online donation counts as one vote toward your state 4-H program. At the end of the challenge, the state receiving the most votes will receive an additional $5,000. Again, that program, when is the end date of the challenge? April 30th. So you can continue to text Clover to 50555, and at the end of it, the state with the most votes gets the $5,000, thanks to our generous sponsor, J.C. Penney. Now, some of you might not like to bring your cell phone to fun events like this, so don't worry, you can make your gift online at 4-h.org or via your cell phone when you get home until April 30th when the campaign ends. We really appreciate your support of State 4-H through your text gift, and we especially appreciate J.C. Penney. Not just for this amazing gift, but I have recently rediscovered J.C. Penney, and I discovered it on a business trip to New York City. There's the most amazing store I've ever been in my entire life in the middle of Manhattan. And I went to get this dress for this evening event, but there's so much more. There's Nicole Miller, there's Bisou Bisou, and I was just in Candyland. And right at your table, you'll see a nice little perfectly presented box with a tiny ribbon on it, but inside that is a dream gift, which is $25 for each person here to go to J.C. Penney's. Now, you might be wondering, what can I get for $25? Well, this dress was $30. The scarf was $10. And I was so excited. I was in town to do the photo shoot for my next book, which comes out in January, and I was in a rush, and I looked around and said, oh my gosh, all the stuff is here. So I really did enjoy my support of J.C. Penney. We have a long-lasting relationship. And it was just so much fun. And we're so grateful to have the support. And to present our second award of the evening, please join me in welcoming DuPont Executive Vice President and National 4-H Board of Trustees, Jim Burrell, Chairman.
Thank you, Nancy. It's great to be here tonight. As she said, I'm with DuPont. I'm responsible for our agricultural business, and it's great to be here with so many agricultural leaders, but also leaders of people involved with youth and the people that are helping this next generation that are going to lead us through the challenges we face. You know, I was involved in 4-H as a kid, and then a lot of years went by, and the chance to get involved with Don and the trustees has really been a great experience to me the last 4 or 5 years. And it really brings back a lot of memories, but it also is invigorating to see the youth that you've seen tonight and to understand the programs and the impact that we can have on the lives of young people and really on the future of our country when we think about the programs that are put in place through 4-H. So it's great that you could be here tonight. We're pleased to have you with us. And we're also pleased to be able to take this time to honor a person who's had a real significant impact on 4-H over the years. You know, from the day that President Lincoln signed the Morrill Act back in 1862 to the founding in 1902, 4-H has been an integral part of the nation's agricultural roots. It's helped us to address one of the most basic and fundamental challenges of our time, providing safe and abundant food to the world. During his tenure as the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture from 1995 to 2001, Dan Glickman's leadership of the 4-H National Headquarters at USDA fueled growth and the strength of the 4-H movement through a number of initiatives that are still having an impact today. Things like a 4-H movement-wide strategic plan, through the Children, Youth, and Families at Risk program, which today serves tens of thousands of youth and adults through innovative local solutions. More than 3/4 of those that are served in that program live in poverty. And through 4-H military partnerships, a strong partnership with Operation Military Kids and the Department of Defense ensures that 4-H is available to every military family living on installations worldwide. Those programs continue today, serving more than 20,000 young people a year, and they train more than 1,000 military staff per year in 4-H and in positive youth development activities and practices. Today, Dan is recognized as a leader in global food security issues, as evidenced by his longstanding commitment to hunger and nutrition issues as a congressman, as Secretary of Agriculture, and most recently, his leadership as co-chair of a bipartisan study for the Chicago Council on Global Affairs that was titled Renewing American Leadership in a Fight Against Global Hunger and Poverty. Catherine Bertini, the former executive director of the World Food Program and Mr. Glickman's co-chair on the Chicago Council, said, quote, Dan has a true humanitarian passion for helping people, and his knowledge of the challenges of combating hunger is extensive. He's smart, intuitive, and committed to helping people. Dan continues to be a champion for youth, and he plays an important role in 4-H as a National 4-H Council trustee and chairman of our Global 4-H Advisory Committee. Most importantly, his wisdom and counsel continues to ensure that young people in every county of America, regardless of their background or circumstances, have access to high-quality 4-H youth development experiences. We're very pleased to honor Dan tonight, to present him with the first ever Abraham Lincoln Vision Award. If Dan could join me on the stage. Let's go over here. Dan, let me read just a little of this. In recognition of the man for whom this award is named, National 4-H Council proudly presents the Abraham Lincoln Vision Award to Dan Glickman in honor of his 6-year tenure as United States Secretary of Agriculture, throughout which he ensured the growth of the 4-H movement, his dedicated service on the National 4-H Council Board of Trustees, his commitment and contributions to the 4-H movement, which exemplify the philosophy of knowledge for use and service for all people. Washington, D.C., April 22nd. Dan, thank you. Congratulations, but thank you.
Well, thank you, Jim, very much. Now, first of all, I want to make it clear, I did not know Abraham Lincoln. This the way I was being introduced, like I was there in 1862 when he signed the Morrill Act, and it was not true. I did a little research on Lincoln, though, and Lincoln is a real hero of mine, and because he was able to mix all the seriousness with humor. And he once said, "It is better to keep one's mouth shut and be thought a fool than to open it and remove all doubt." So I thought about saying thank you and leaving right now. But I do have to say a few words. In the National Archives, when I took the job as secretary, the then archivist of the United States was the governor of Kansas. His name was John Carlin. He says, "Do you want to see the signature of the paper creating the Department of Agriculture?" It was then a Bureau of Agriculture in 1862. It wasn't actually a department until 1887. So I went up there, and there is a handwritten piece of paper that talks about creating a department to provide information about seeds and other methods of production for farmers in America, signed A. Lincoln, whatever the date was, 1862. And, a lot has come down the pike since that time, and Lincoln had great foresight because Lincoln was the one who called the department the People's Department. At that time, roughly 80% of the people lived on farms or had their livelihoods based on farms, and today it's about 2%. And we still produce way more food than we consume, and we have used that original purpose of the department, which was really an extension department. It was really a research and extension department. And it's one of the things that really created the 4-H network out of that basic philosophy. And so I'm very honored to get this award. 4-H is a very big and important part of this country. And Don and his team are doing their best to replicate it around the world as well, which we need to do because we have 1 billion people in this world who don't have enough to eat every day and another 1 billion who barely have enough to eat every day. And the way to deal with that problem is not just to supply surplus food, which is nice in an emergency, but it is to provide self-sufficiency so people can become producers of their own food and can become self-sufficient and become productive citizens in their own country as well. And no organization does that better than 4-H. We saw the young lady who was going to Dartmouth, who very moving story about got her start through the mentorship of the programs of 4-H. And so to me, the philosophy of 4-H, the philosophy of land-grant college movement is revolutionary. I see my friend Peter McPherson here, who is unfortunately gets to hear me too much lately. By the way, he served on that Chicago Council on Global Affairs and is a great leader himself. But through the work of the land-grant schools, 4-H is really doing so much to give young people the skills that they need for work in life. And I would just close. Some of you have seen the movie Schindler's List. And at the end of the movie, you may recall that Oskar Schindler, who's played by the actor Liam Neeson, is about ready to leave, and he saved all these people's lives, and he sees his accountant, played by Ben Kingsley. And Schindler breaks down, and he says, I didn't do enough. And the accountant, played by Ben Kingsley, said, you did more than enough. He says, and remember that the Talmud, the Jewish Talmud, says, if you save one life, you've saved the entire world. And I always thought that philosophy was so important because, as we saw with the young lady here today, if you save one life, if you change one person's life, if you give them motivation to do something beyond perhaps what they thought they could do, you save them and just think what they can do to save the world. And that's what 4-H does every single day. So I'm delighted to be on the board of the 4-H Council and to participate in this great dinner. And when I see Abe Lincoln later on, I'll tell him thank you all very much. Thank you.
Congratulations, Secretary Glickman. And for our final award of the evening, we ask Don Floyd, National 4-H Council President and CEO, to join us once more.
I hope you know by now that you cannot script Nancy. So that little shopping tour that's all Nancy. She said I'm getting the bill. The relationship between the JCPenney Company and 4-H is one that is long, it's deep, and it's filled with incredible relationships at the community level. I think it has been that way for decades because the values match of the JCPenney Company and its associates and the 4-H movement are identical. We serve the same people. We have the same interests in communities. The Penney Company is the only company in the history of the private sector of the 4-H movement to provide 3 executives to be our national chair. The first was Mr. Penney, who, as you heard, started in 1928 with the 4-H movement when he started providing local funds for local 4-H. And he was one of our first national chairs. The second was a man named Bob Gill, who was vice chairman of the JCPenney Company. And during that time, he, as our chair, raised over $50 million for the 4-H movement in 1988, the largest fundraising effort ever in the history of the company. Again, the company aligning with our values. And Gary Davis, who's sitting right here, was executive vice president of the company, and in that time helped JCPenney into the after-school commitment. And during that process, he helped us at 4-H develop our after-school and revitalize our after-school leadership in communities. Actually, it was about 8 years ago that we were at our national staff conference, and Gary was the chair, and we had our board join the 1,500 county 4-H educators. And I introduced our board, and I said, here's our board chair, Gary Davis from the JCPenney Company. And the next thing you know, the applause started, and it spread across the room. It was one of those moments when you knew that those county agents, as they rose to their feet, were sending respect and a love for a company and a relationship that was deep and rooted. You will find out in just a moment how deep that relationship goes, but I just wanted you to know how special the relationship between JCPenney and the 4-H movement is. And let's learn more about it in this video.
For more than a century, JCPenney has been committed to serving the common good and giving back to the communities where it does business. Since opening in 1902, founder James Cash Penney named his first dry goods store the Golden Rule to reflect his personal and business philosophy to treat others the way he himself would want to be treated. As the company grew to become one of America's leading retailers, JCPenney has continued its Golden Rule legacy. Throughout JCPenney's history, 4-H has been an important part of its philanthropic focus. Mr. Penney himself was a long-time supporter of 4-H through active involvement with the organization spanning almost 50 years. From 1928 until his death in 1971, Mr. Penney generously gave his time, leadership, and financial support to advance the mission of 4-H and help it grow into one of the world's most recognized and highly respected youth organizations. In recognition of his outstanding support, 4-H named the main building of its national headquarters after Mr. Penney in 1977. Since that time, a mural depicting him and his family has greeted all visitors to the JCPenney Hall.
My husband had a unique way of saying things that you couldn't help but remember them. He said to me more than once, "If one builds for a decade, one should cultivate trees. But if one wants to build for the centuries, one should cultivate men and women."
For many decades, JCPenney has continued to build upon the commitment to 4-H that started with its founder. For over 10 years, JCPenney, through its signature cause, After School, has further supported 4-H and its positive youth development by facilitating more than $8.5 million to 4-H. Its contributions have provided for volunteer and staff training, curriculum development, and increased capacity through after-school access grants. These grants make it possible for families experiencing financial hardship to enroll or keep their children involved in 4-H after-school programs. JCPenney has helped 4-H reach millions of youth and provide them with the tools they need to succeed in school, work, and life. Today, as the leading corporate advocate for after-school, JCPenney's partnership with 4-H is an integral component to building the national after-school infrastructure. JCPenney has been instrumental in helping 4-H develop a robotics curriculum to increase participation in an innovative program that inspires more kids into the field of science and technology. Through this successful collaboration, JCPenney and 4-H are inspiring kids to be smart, strong, and socially responsible. 4-H is proud of its long-standing partnership with JCPenney as the company continues to demonstrate its commitment to helping kids reach their full potential.
And here to accept the very first 4-H Corporate Leadership Award is the Chairman and CEO of the JCPenney Company, Mike Ullman.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled and honored to be here to accept this award and this recognition on behalf of the 150,000 current JCPenney associates and the hundreds of thousands that preceded us. Gary Davis is a great example of the leadership that we've had over the decades. I'm only the 9th chairman in 108 years. So it's a company built on tradition, built on values. As a matter of fact, our slogan for our company, the underlying value statement of our company is "Every day matters." And what we say is that what matters to our customers matters to us. And it's all about our people. And one of the things that we did in focusing on the golden rule, heritage, and legacy of the company is 5 years ago put together a statement of principles for today, which is based on what we call a winning together culture. And what we mean by winning together is by helping each other and respecting each other based on trust and teamwork, that we can be a better company and take better care of our customers. And just to let you know kind of how it all worked out, American Express does a poll every year of the best customer service in America, and they rank the companies based on the survey. It's, many thousands of people take the survey. And I'm pleased to say the last 2 years, JCPenney has been the #1 company in customer service in the United States. We don't say that too loud in Seattle because there's a company up there that gets upset. But what I will tell you is that I believe that's not because that we have fancy programs or slogans. It's actually because we have given the associates the authority and the training and the courage to be themselves. And we hire people that we think our customers will like and respect. And we say that satisfied customers come no more often than satisfied and dissatisfied customers, and they don't spend any more. So if that's all you knew, you would never spend anything on customer service. But highly satisfied customers come 20% more often and spend 15% more. So we try to solve for highly satisfied customers by having highly engaged associates. Now, all of this is terrific, and we're talking about our company. We're obviously very proud of our heritage. I need to tell you, in addition to Mr. Penney, actually Sam Walton has got to start at JCPenney. And just tell you a very funny, quick story. As I was getting through the airport this afternoon, Warren Buffett was standing by the door. He said, "Hello, Mike." He had written me a letter. When he was 15 or 16 years old, he worked at the JCPenney in Omaha. He wrote me a letter about the store in Manhattan that Nancy mentioned, how proud he was of JCPenney, but he was taking exception. He didn't think it was the first store in Manhattan. He thought he cashed a check at a JCPenney store when he was 19 at Columbia University. I had to be wrong. So we had to research it and found out he actually had gone to our office, and probably somebody felt sorry for him. But the reason I'm telling you the story, he said, "How much is that dress shirt, that Towncraft?" I said, "Well, it's called Stafford now." He said, "Well, how much is that?" I said, "I think it's $19.95. He says, "That's terrific. It's a great price." I said, "For you, I can get it for you for $15. He said, "If you need any help at Christmas, I'm still available." So anyway, we're very proud of our alumni and very proud of our associates. I'm probably more pleased tonight about the future than I am the past. I think what many of you don't know is our plans going forward are much more engaging for us and for hopefully for 4-H, as well as an organization called FIRST. FIRST is an organization that's built around the premise that the founder of the organization, Dean Kamen, who is mentioned as an article in Fortune this week, and the title of the article is "This Man Can Change the World." Okay? He's the inventor of the Segway, which helps me get around since I'm mobility challenged. And Dean had the vision to say our kids need to think about something other than video games and television and kind of hoping to be a pro athlete. They need to think about science and technology, and we need to win the next generation based on what kids can do and what they learn. So we started a program, I think, with 35 high schools. I think it was 20 years ago, something like that. And I just attended the international competition for the robotics competition in Atlanta this past weekend. 200,000 kids from around the world now participate in this organization. And 4-H and J.C. Penney are partners in this. We actually direct some of our philanthropy to 4-H, and we partner together to help sponsor teams. And I'm proud to announce that beginning on June 13th, when our store managers get together, that Dean Kamen, that person who's been called the Edison of our times, is going to come and talk to our store managers about us sponsoring one robotics team for every store in our company. So we'll go from 1,800 high school teams to 2,900 high school teams. And we expect that partnership to really be hand in hand with 4-H in every community where 4-H and JCPenney share that opportunity with a high school, with the company that can help sponsor the team, with parents and the kids. Because after all, the parents in our store are our associates and our customers are parents, so it is logical that we should care what they get. Every day matters to us, and what matters to them matters to us. So it just so happens Dean Kamen is sitting right here, and I'd like him to come up for 1 second and introduce Dean. I was on Dean's board when the Segway was introduced, and it allows me to work today because I can get around. And he didn't know he was going to be asked to say something, but I think Dean is an inspirational leader. And I think the three parties between the first organization and Dean, JCPenney and 4-H, that we have a much brighter future than the past, even despite the fact we think the past was pretty great. So just say hello, Dean.
Well, congratulations. I don't know who picked this guy to win, but you picked the right guy. And I am excited that First is going to have a great future with 4-H, and we'll share him with you. But I think there's nothing more to be said. You know, 4-H, obviously you've got a long history of changing the world. JCPenney, as we just saw, I had no idea. It's astounding to me, and it makes me even more excited. But I will redouble our efforts to make both 4-H proud to be our partner and JCPenney our partner and sponsor. But congratulations to you on a great prize.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you all so much for joining us tonight and sharing some of the wonderful journey that is 4-H. Let's give all of our honorees a round of applause one last time. You might not have known a lot about 4-H when you came in here, but you certainly learned a lot tonight, I'm sure. If there's anything that's obvious, that there's no one set route, one set path, no one set 4-H'er. We all are so different, yet we have the same goal of making the best better and being our best selves. 4-H is about discovering where you want to go and how you're going to get there. I really like the focus on the future that was just mentioned, because that's where we are. We've had a wonderful past, and we're moving forward, and you are a part of that, and we congratulate you and are appreciative of your support. 4-H'ers are people who care, and they're excellent at reading road signs, pointing out new directions and opportunities, and giving support along the way. This room is filled with those supporters, and we celebrate your part in this great movement. Without you, it couldn't happen. None of what you've seen, none of the individuals you've met, including myself, would be here. So please stay involved. Become a volunteer. Get the young people in your life engaged, even if it's just engaging them how to figure out how to text that $10. We're all going in the same general direction, forward, towards a great future. Thank you so much for being here. We hope you enjoyed yourself, and have a great rest of your night.